All right. Hello, everyone. This is CryptoCruz once again with CoinFinancial, bringing you another market update. This one's a little different. I'm actually live in the Zoom right now. So here we go. Let's just dive in. Um, I'm going to go ahead and screen share. All right. So this market, oof, bloody market today. It looks horrible. So this what I have here is the Bitcoin chart. Okay. I have some good news for y'all, and of course some bad news. There's really no telling what Bitcoin will do. Again, there's only one certainty when it comes to investing and trading, and that is there are no certainties, only probabilities. So as we stand here right now with this nasty dip that we're seeing, actually has a higher probability of it bottoming out and breaking to the upside. Again, that doesn't take away the fact that it could still go all the way down to 30K. Okay, that's still a very possible scenario, although it is more likely that we bounce up instead. All right. Here's what I'm seeing. This is the 4-hour chart. As you can see, we have the squeeze right now, and we are actually
Recording in
separating.
progress.
Whoa, what was that? Okay, sorry about that, guys. So yeah, we are actually breaking out of the squeeze right now. What we saw here was a fake out. Um, it actually hit. We actually hit resistance and went back down. So the likely scenario here is we could go all the way down to 37,500. Okay, we hopefully we don't break that, because if we do break that, there's the probability of us going to 30K is will just increase drastically. All right. Right now, this is what I have on the 4-hour chart, but let's zoom out to the 1-day chart. I'll give you more good news, okay? Because right now, what I'm seeing is this can be short-lived, right? So I'm gonna zoom in. This is the 1-day chart. What I'm seeing here, this is actually a falling wedge, right? Usually a falling wedge scenario is a bullish pattern. More pretty much 2 out of 3 times when there's a falling wedge, it breaks to the upside, all right, rather than the downside. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. It's bouncing in and out of this falling wedge, right? Eventually, it does have to break, and again, it has a higher probability of breaking to the upside. And when if we do break to the upside, the next target here will be 60K, 59 to 60K, which is the top of this wedge that started. All right, that is the good news. Also, another thing too, if we look to the left, right? If we look to the left, we had a falling wedge here, right? And as you can see on the Bollinger Band, the squeeze, the yellow Bollinger Band, it looks like we were going to continue to go down, but it was a fake out and we broke up. That's what a falling wedge does. Here's another falling wedge right here. It's somewhat not as drastic of a falling wedge, but nonetheless, it's still um, a bit of a falling wedge, and it broke up again. All right, and now we're over here again. We're repeating the same thing that happened 2 times already on this bull market. Yes, we are still in the bull market. I don't care what anyone says. The only when if we break to the downside on this falling wedge, right, and we hit 30K, then I may consider that we are entering a bear market. But as of right now, right, we are definitely still in an uptrend, and I'm going to show you what I mean by the uptrend. All right, you don't see it here on the daily chart, but we long term we are actually in an uptrend still. All right, so anyways, I'm going to bring up my other indicators. Here's another one I want to point out as well. We are reaching oversold territory. Okay, every time we reach This is the daily chart, guys. Every time we reach the oversold territory right here, right, that's usually a good indication of a good buying opportunity. Okay, when we reached the oversold territory here, we bounced. This wasn't that big of a bounce, but we went from 40 to 45, almost 45K right here. Okay, when we hit when we touched this line on the oversold territory, right, that was a good indication of a buy signal around this area, right? From here, we bounced from, when was this? It was 46K, 46, 47,000 around here. And we went all the way up to 52K, right? Not big moves, but still it was a bounce to the upside. Okay. Now this is actually a good sign because we rarely see this on the daily chart. The last time we saw this, right? It didn't even happen here. It didn't even touch it. It didn't touch it here either, but yet we made a bounce. Okay. If we keep going past, every time we go to the oversold territory on the daily chart, right, it usually indicates a good buying opportunity. But like for example, here we reach oversold territory right here. That would have been a good buying opportunity. It took a month or so, but that's when we went from, this was May, right? Even though we went sideways for a long time, it was a good buying opportunity because that was the bottom, right? We went sideways, we bottomed out, went sideways, and then went all the way back up to almost 70K when we finally reached the oversold territory of the daily chart. We can keep going. We can keep going. Here's another one. It tipped it. So we went from 48K all the way up to 60K. All right. Keep going. Keep going. As you can see, it doesn't happen often that we reach that. The next time let's see, we just keep going. I'm waiting for it right here. Not to mention also my line, that white line that I drew out there, that is actually a support resistant line. Every time we actually go under it, and that's another indication of a good buying opportunity. Like for example here, when we went under this white line that I drew, if you would have bought there, look what happened. That's when we went from below 10K all the way up to 41,000, right? If you keep going back, as you can see right here, we went below my resistance support line, that white line went below. That's a good buying area, and that's where we went all the way down to about 4,500 and went all the way up to 12K, right? And that was actually the end of that bear market. This was the bear market that started in January of 2018. And then this was the Corona dump also, right? And that was the capitulation that started this new bull market that we see now. Okay. So as you can see, every time down below my white line, good buying opportunity. Almost touched the white line right here. You would have bought that. That was a good buying opportunity. So you can see that went below here, right there. We went below that white line. If you would have bought there, yes, we dipped a little bit more, went below some more, but inevitably we went back all the way up to 70K. So that white line I have drawn right now, we are actually under it. We are moving sideways and somewhat falling. You know, that's a falling wedge right there again. And we are under it. So this is actually any time here, it was a good buying opportunity for the long term, right? So again, my prediction, if we do break to the downside, we can go all the way down to 30K. That's my next target. But also, I believe if we do reach 30K, it's gonna be short-lived, guys. It's gonna be just like the Corona dump capitulation, right? It's going to go down and then we're going to just bounce back up. That is my prediction. You know, we may move probably sideways for a week or so, but it's once we get ready, it's going to move up fast. All right. So on the weekly chart, this is what I'm talking about. We are still clearly on an uptrend, right? As long as we don't break this falling wedge, we are still on an uptrend. As long as we don't break this falling wedge to the downside. All right. I am a little bit more cautious because I don't know if y'all remember me saying that if we do fall below this orange line right here and form a full body candle below it, it is somewhat of a bearish signal. That doesn't mean we're in a bear market. It's just a bearish signal. It just means that we could stay around here for a few weeks, right? But eventually this falling wedge has to break, either up or down. Okay. Now, what I see here, again, my resistant line, the white line right here, this white line that I have drawn out here, on the weekly chart, every time we've touched it, it's a good buying opportunity historically, right? For example, here, we touched it or tipped it, almost tipped it. And if you would have bought there, that was good. That's when we went from 30K all the way up to almost 70K, like 67, 68K. All right. If we go, and this doesn't happen often either. Right. If we go to the left, right here, we went below that line. That would have been a good buying opportunity. We went up, way up, right? That was the, again, that was the Corona dump right there. All right. Over here, we touched it. We went from 6,000 to $7,000 right here, all the way up to 10K. Right, that was a 40% move right there. All right. Again, here we went below it. That would have been a good buying opportunity. That's when we bottomed at 3K and went all the way up to 13K.
The teacher class, the chocolate master,
What was that?
no, they forgot to eat their meat.
All right, so that is what I'm seeing right now. Again, every time we tip that, which doesn't happen often, it only happened like one. This is one right here, two right there, and every time it was a good buying opportunity. 3, 4, 5, and now 6. Right? We only touched it or went below it 6 times since 2017, guys. Okay. So before 2017, the last time that happened was right here. Right? We went below it. This was the 2014, 2015 bear market. Went below it. Of course, it went sideways for a long time, but anytime you bought in at around this time would have been a great buying opportunity because that was actually the low of that bear market. And that's when we went from what, $200-$300 all the way up to 20K. All right. So I've seen bull bear market. It's always just a trend. Long term, we're still on an uptrend, right? On a very, very long term, we're talking about a deca cycle. We're definitely in an uptrend. But I'm talking about this bull market. We're still in a bull market, as you can see here, right? We haven't seen a blow off top either. That's another indication. Blow off tops usually are indication of the end of a bull market, kind of like the 2017 blow off top right here, right? And also the 2013 blow off top right there, right? A very steep spike up, and then starts a bear market, right? We haven't seen that on this bull run yet. What we've seen is a dome shape, the first dome and the second dome. There was never a spike, like a straight shot up spike of a blow off top. So that's why I believe we haven't seen the end of this bull market yet. Okay. I still am a little cautious though. Like I said, I'm watching this falling wedge. Right. So also another thing too, what I like to show y'all. Let's see. All right. What I like to show y'all here, where is that at? All right, if we are going on the monthly, this is the ultimate long term, right? The very long term. If we're going on the monthly here, okay? And I'm just gonna draw this. All right. See if I can draw this right there. Hold on.
I see.
You see that right there?
Yeah. You know, like,
All right, so if you draw that, that is actually a resistant line right there. Okay, we can even draw this more back to see where, let's see, right there. That's a lot of touch points, right? Bottom here, touch point, touch point, touch point, and this is where we're at now. So we're definitely at a support. Okay, this has to hold. So that's what I'm looking at. And if we zoom in, we'll keep that resistant line that I just drew. We zoom back in. This is the monthly candle, guys. This is straight up long term. But if we zoom back in to the daily, okay, this is that line I just drew on the monthly chart right there. Okay, right there. That's the line I drew on the monthly chart. We're going to go back and see how accurate this support is. Right now, we're actually falling a little bit below, but I drew it on the monthly. So, you know, it's not accurate if we zoom in on the daily. It's not as accurate, but it's close enough. As you can see, we're on that support right there. What is that? Let me take that off. Right there, that's a support. We bounced off there. And then down here, it was actually a resistant, right? What was once support becomes a resistant. What was once a resistance becomes support, right? If we keep going, as you can see, that's clear. You see how it's following that line I drew? That's dating back to March 2020. It's very clear. And I drew this on the monthly, and then we zoomed in on the daily, and it's just following it, right? So now, going back to present day, that's where we are. Okay, we have to hold that, right? Again, worst case scenario, not worst case scenario, but this dip we're seeing right now, we could go all the way down to the bottom of this falling wedge at 37,000. All right, before we probably move back up again and go up to the 40K level, right? And again, I'm watching this wedge has a higher probability of breaking to the upside. If we do break to the upside, my next target is all the way up to 60K, right? If we break to the downside, my target is 30K. And then I'd most likely be rethinking maybe we are entering a bear market. But that is my technical analysis for today. I know it's almost sounds like 50-50, but again, I'm still optimistic and there's still a higher probability that we do break to the upside. I would say maybe 70% to the upside, 30% to the downside. So let's see.
Like our odds.
One more thing too, Bitcoin dominance, right?
Yeah.
Someone asked how to read that Bitcoin dominance. Where is it? I have so much, right? Let's see, BTC futures. Where is my Bitcoin dominance? It's here somewhere. There it is, Bitcoin dominance chart. So as far as the Bitcoin dominance chart, if we go, that looks pretty crazy, huh?
This is reading
Maybe
it
I should.
against all the other crypto in the market.
Yeah, so the Bitcoin dominance chart pretty much just shows you percentage, right? It's not the price.
Right.
The numbers on the right side, it's not the price of anything. It's the percentage, right? It's the percentage of the total market cap of the crypto market and what percent is going into Bitcoin and what percent is going to the rest of the altcoins, right? So that's a Bitcoin dominance chart. And right now, out of the whole crypto market cap, which is over $2 trillion, I believe right now, 40% of that is going into Bitcoin and 60% is going into everything else, right? That's where we're at right now, 42.75% Bitcoin dominance, right? The highest it's ever been crazy, back in 2014 was almost 100%. Right? But of course, there's so many altcoins that came out, especially Ethereum is starting to gain traction against Bitcoin. So it's Bitcoin over the years, it just kept going down, right? But back, also another thing too, when we do reach a bear market, usually Bitcoin dominance go up. So the bear market of 2018 all the way to 2020, the Bitcoin dominance was around 70%, and 30% of the whole crypto market cap was everywhere else. Bitcoin was taking 70% of the crypto market cap during the bear market, right? Bull market started, people started buying out all the other altcoins. Of course, the metaverse, NFT projects, all of that, DeFi, yeah. But here's what I see. I'm gonna erase all this line because it's kind of confusing. Plus, some of this lines it already happened, kind of like this this triangle pattern right here broke to the downside. I'm gonna erase all that. I can always redraw it again, anyways. So here's what I see on the Bitcoin dominance chart. I see this really big, we're on a weekly chart, by the way, so this isn't a small move. Okay. Oh crap. I'm gonna draw this line. Jeez, why keeps the, there you go. What is going on? Let me just erase the rest. Let me just erase the rest of my lines. Everything else.
Stay away from Bitcoin.
All right. And I'm just going to draw this huge. Jeez. I'm clicking once. Why is it doing it twice? Ah,
Are you using your phone? That's why.
there we go. There we go. I got it. No, I'm using my tablet actually. All right. This is what I see right here. That is a descending triangle. And we are reaching the end of it. And descending triangle has a higher probability of breaking to the downside.
Oh,
If this breaks to the downside, we are going to see the biggest altcoin season in history of cryptocurrency. And this is not far-fetched because of everything that's happening in the metaverse and NFT, right? This is very possible. If we zoom into the daily, let's see what the daily chart gives us.
so if it breaks down to the downside, does that mean price of Bitcoin goes down too?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
The price of Bitcoin could be going up. Remember these altcoins, right?
Yeah.
They can go 2 to 3 to 400% easy.
Yeah.
What is everyone's target in Bitcoin by fourth quarter of this year? What is the target? 100K,
100,
right?
yeah.
From here to 100K is only a little over 100% for Bitcoin. But where Bitcoin goes 100%, a lot of these altcoins goes 3, 4, 500%. So when the Bitcoin dominance loses percentage, that doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin is gonna lose in price.
Right.
That just means that all these other altcoin is gonna gain in price a lot faster. Yeah. So, or maybe Bitcoin will be moving sideways, maybe at around 60 to 70K moving sideways, while all these other altcoins are doing 50 to 60% gains. See, it's a lot of possibilities, but again, that's what I see here. We are gonna see the biggest altcoin season in history if this thing breaks to the downside. And right now, we are actually on the top. On the daily chart, we're actually on the top of this ascending triangle. I mean, the descending triangle. So if we get rejected and go back down, that is another opportunity for this thing to break to the downside. And again, there is no certainty, only probability. So there is still a low probability that, hey, maybe we do break to the upside and Bitcoin dominance goes back up. Now, here's the bad news. If we do see Bitcoin dominance break to the upside, there's actually a bad news for that. Usually when Bitcoin dominance break to the upside and gains more dominance, what does that usually mean? Remember back here? Where's that? Remember back here? The Bitcoin dominance where it was at 70%?
Yeah.
This was the start of the bear market. Right here. Actually, right here. Yeah. This is August 2019 when Bitcoin was at 70% dominance, 60% dominance, May 2019. September 2018, 60% dominance. Usually when Bitcoin is at a high dominance, we're in a bear market. Why? Because nobody want to buy any altcoins. Everybody's just accumulating more Bitcoin. That is the bad news, right? If we break to the upside, it just increases our probability of reaching another bear market. But what I see here, if it does break to the upside, there's a huge resistance on the 47% level. But again, that is a descending triangle. Again, higher probability of breaking to the downside. but there's still a low maybe 25-30% chance we break to the upside. Okay. So that's how you read the Bitcoin dominance chart. It's really the total market cap of the whole crypto space, and the percentage means however much Bitcoin is, is grabbing out of that $2 trillion. Bitcoin is grabbing 40% of it. Okay. And let's see, I'm gonna stop my screen share. All right. So that is my technical analysis for today. Until next time, this is a little different again. I'm doing this Zoom recording. I'm gonna upload this as soon as I can. So I'm trying to stop the recording now. All right, until next time, guys.